Hey Forkers, oil is probably one of the most controversial topics that comes up in the plant-based or vegan community, so let's get into that. I am on a lot of message boards for the plant-based community and vegan community and all that kind of stuff, and the one thing I notice over and over again is people get into a downright tizzy when you bring up oil. You've got the people that go on about how it's not a whole food, calorically dense, and that's 100% accurate. And then you have the people that support it and say it's the Mediterranean diet. It has all these health benefits if you have like olive oil or coconut oil. And those people are not wrong either. This video is not about trying to explain to you why you should not have oil. I'm not here to convince you to not have oil. You're an adult. That's a choice you can make for yourself. What I want to try to explain is how you don't need oil. There's two main reasons oil is used. People use it because they say it has health benefits, and also they say they use it for cooking. So I'm going to break that down and just explain why, yeah, you can use it for those things and you can get those things from it. However, all of those things you can get from whole foods. So the main reason that I cut oil out of my diet was simply weight loss. I looked at it as a food that cost 100 to 100 calories and didn't satiate me, didn't fill me up, wasn't a whole food. And if you're curious, what does 100 calories of whole food fat look like? It's 50 tiger nuts, 25 peanuts, 15 cashews, 4.5 dark chocolate Hershey's Kisses, 3 tablespoons of shredded coconut, 2.5 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 1 tablespoon of nut butter, or 1/3 of an avocado. I would rather have any of those foods. They all provide healthy omega-3 rich fats, and they fill me up a lot more than just a tablespoon of oil will. Look, maybe you're at a great weight and 100 to 120 calories of extra oil doesn't matter to you a day, in which case, great. That said, if 100 to 200 calories or however much oil you're consuming does matter to you and to your weight loss goals or journey or lifestyle, here is a list of a bunch of other foods that have 100 to 120 calories that will fill you up much more that you can add to a snack or a meal. Get ready. 100 radishes, 100 raspberries, 82 kidney beans, 50 raisins, 33 cherry tomatoes, 33 seedless grapes, 28 baby carrots, 17 shelled edamame, 16 black olives, 16 ribs of celery, 20 raw Brussels sprouts, 5 dried figs, 4 tablespoons of hummus, 3 1/4 cups of air pop popcorn, 3 clementines, 2 small chocolate chip cookies, 1 1/4 cup blueberries, 1 medium banana, or 1 small baked potato. Seriously, all of those foods have about the same amount of calories as 1 tablespoon of coconut oil or olive oil or canola oil or any of those other kind of oils. I'm telling you right now, take a small baked potato and take a tablespoon of oil. I promise you one is going to fill you up a hell of a lot more. And taste better too. A lot of people say that they have oil because it's just healthy. And they can put out a whole bunch of claims that come from nutritionists and doctors, and I'm not going to refute any of them. I'm not saying that they're wrong. That said, if you are eating a whole food plant-based diet with lots of nutritious things and a nice variety of seeds and nuts and plants and vegetables, you just don't need it. You're adding extra calories without getting the added benefits because you're probably already getting those things in the food you're eating. Here are the top 10 health claims people make about why they have olive oil or coconut oil. It's a healthy source of monosaturated fats. Yeah, it is. And so are avocados, almonds, cashews, peanuts, dark chocolate, coconut, and chia seeds. It's an antioxidant. Yeah, just like dark chocolate or pecans. Blueberries, strawberries, artichokes, goji berries, raspberries, kale, red cabbage, beans, beets, and spinach. It's an anti-inflammatory. And so are tomatoes, green leaf veggies, nuts, strawberries, blueberries, cherries, and oranges. It helps prevent strokes. Yeah, so do most vegetables and fruits. Seriously, way too many to list. And also whole grains. It helps to prevent heart disease. Yup, so do nuts, berries, seeds, oats, legumes, red wine, red, yellow, orange veggies, oranges, cantaloupes, papaya, and dark chocolate. Have some dark chocolate and wine to prevent some heart disease. It helps to fight weight gain. Okay, sure. So do oats, coffee, green tea, apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, hot pepper, grapefruit, and watermelon. It helps to fight against Alzheimer's disease. That's amazing. And so do green leafy vegetables, nuts, berries, beans, whole grains, and wine. It reduces type 2 diabetes. So do whole grains, starchy vegetables, regular vegetables, fruits, beans, and legumes. Helps treat arthritis. Yeah, so does garlic, ginger, broccoli, walnuts, berries, spinach, grapes, and tart cherry juice. Tart cherry juice. It has antibacterial properties. Just like wine, turmeric, cinnamon, cranberry juice, and honey. All this to say, there is one thing you need to do if you're on a whole food plant-based diet. B12. You should know that already. Most people should have B12. It's not in most of us, even if we eat animals and whatnot. Take B12, goddammit. People insist that they need oil for cooking or baking. Let's get one thing straight. Oil in cooking and baking serves a very specific purpose, and it is almost never flavor, except for maybe salad dressings, but we'll get to that in a moment. So if you want to understand how to replace oil in your food, you have to know what the hell it's doing there in the first place. You use oil for sautéing. It is so easy to use just water or vegetable stock. Just splash that stuff in, heat up the pan. Most vegetables, after a couple seconds, will start to create their own liquids, and you can start to sauté on that. And also, non-stick pans, people. They've only been around since 1938. Come on, get a non-stick pan. You like to make things crispy. I get it. When you make potatoes or french fries, you want to put a little bit of oil on the outside to crisp those buggers up. Guess what? Air fryers, convection ovens. Check out on my website, I have got a recipe for crispy fries that you can make in an oven, and I dare you to tell me they aren't as crispy as something you use with oil. They're amazing. You don't need oil to make things crispy in an oven in 2020. Come on. People say they need oil for baking. Well, let's talk about lining your pans. Again, silicone is your best friend. There is not a baking sheet out there they haven't replaced with silicone, and gosh darn it, they are amazing. From donut pans to muffin tins, silicone sheets to go on your baking sheets. The world is your oyster, and you know the bonus is you don't need to keep on buying parchment or anything like that. Just use that stuff, it's great. So what's the purpose of oil in baking? It does two things. First of all, keep stuff nice and moist. How does it keep stuff moist? It traps the gases that get released from the interaction of baking powder and baking soda. It slows down gluten formation. Basically, it keeps your shit tender and fluffy. The second thing it does is it helps bind together your ingredients in the right way. So it's important to keep those two things in mind when you're thinking of a substitute. Here's some really common ones that you probably just have kicking around your house to begin with. If you see canola oil in a recipe, the easiest swap is applesauce. It's 1-to-1. And what's really nice is applesauce in baking doesn't have a super strong flavor. It doesn't make everything taste appley. But what it does do is make things even a little bit more sweeter without all that extra calories. So that's really, really good too. If you want to add a little bit of plant milk to it as well, it'll make it creamier. Bonus. Cornstarch. It doesn't add any nutritional value to it. The trick to that is you heat up some water in a pan, you stir it in until it's the consistency you want. Cornstarch is not my favorite, but it'll do in a pinch. Fruit and vegetable purees. Pretty much anything will work, from bananas to sweet potatoes to beets, berries, cherries, you name it. Like, you just mash something up and it's gonna work for the most part. Now here's the cool thing and the bad thing that you gotta keep in mind, is a lot of veggie and fruit purees will add to the flavor of your recipe. Now if you're making a chocolate cake and you're using raspberry puree as your oil, guess what? That's awesome. I'll tell you, we just made a cake the other day using sweet potato, and it was fantastic. It was dense and moist, and my kids loved it. You know what we used for the icing? We just warmed up some more of that sweet potato, mixed it up with some chopped semi-sweet chocolate. The kids went nuts for it. That was icing. It really is an endless world of fruit or vegetable you can use by just cooking some stuff and mashing it together. And last but not least on the cooking front is salad dressings. I know what you're saying. Salad dressing is oil. That's what we've always been trained, always been taught. It's 2 parts oil, 1 part this. It's like there's a math formula that most people have in their brain. Guess what? You don't need it. What is oil doing in salad dressing? It is a fat. So what do? Replace it with another fat. Here's some options. If you aren't completely plant-based or vegan, yogurt. And if you are, there are a lot of animal-free yogurts out there. Coconut yogurt, for example. Avocados. That stuff, you blend that up in a food processor, it is silky and smooth. Makes a nice cream dressing. Tahini. Any nut butter. Seriously. Mix and match them depending on whatever flavors you're using. Vinegars. Apple cider vinegar. Balsamic vinegar. There are so many flavored vinegars out there. It is amazing. If you want to do something really fun, take a balsamic vinegar and just boil it down into a glaze. That stuff is pure magic. And vinegar is good for you. You should have vinegar every single day. So like I said at the top of this video, if you want to have some oil in your life, go for it. You're an adult, make that choice. All this video is trying to explain is how you don't actually need it. You don't need it for health benefits, you don't need it for weight loss, you don't need it for cooking or baking, salad dressings, whatever. If you want it, go for it, but you don't need it. If you want to argue against any of these claims, please comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me. I'm not trying to advocate against oil, you know. I know some people that love it, they were raised on it, and that's totally cool. I am just trying to provide some alternative options for people who want to cut some down or cut it out completely. That's all. If you like this video, please like down below, please subscribe, please share it, do all the things, comment, let me know where you're coming in from. What do you use instead of oil if I miss something in this recipe? Please let me know, comment at me. Say mean things if you want, I'm okay with that. Maybe I'm not, please don't say mean things. Thanks everyone, we'll see you soon.